This is the Owns Odyssey podcast. Thank you for being here. Hello, and you're very welcome to another episode of Owns Odyssey. Hope you're doing well. I'm back in the grandmother's box room, coming to you live from the house. Hope you're doing well. We've got some very, very good news. I'm very excited today, but first I've got to finish this banana. I started this banana before the podcast because I thought to myself, there's a nice bit of potassium in the banana. Nice lot of vitamins in there, and I got halfway through it and I left it down there, completely forgot about it, but we're back and we're eating bananas live on air. So I want to thank whoever makes these bananas. They're delicious, and my favourite fruit, by the way, is the banana or the orange, coming in a very tight second. The reason being is because any fruit that has its own wrapper is a winner in my eyes. Bananas, kiwis, as I said before, oranges, mandarins, the whole gang. Perfect. You can put it on the floor, doesn't matter what happens to it. You can still take off the peel and boom, you can get stuck into your banana wherever and whenever you want. Good news as well, Adam is back on the mend. Poor old Adam, every bone in his body was crushed two weeks ago now, and it was hit and miss there for a while. We were worried about Adam, but his family have been in touch to say that Adam is ever so slowly making a comeback. So they've been sending me pictures of Adam in bed. Here's a quick little picture of Adam, and it's all looking good for him anyways. He's moving his baby toes again. His baby fingers are moving on his hand as well. So it's a really good sign. I've been on to him because I need him here in the studio, but hopefully he will be back and bigger than ever. We're looking forward to seeing Adam in the studio. So thank you very much, Adam, to you and your family. We love you to bits. We're thinking about you, and you're in our hearts and in our heads. Thanks for being here today anyways. Where was I recently? I was up in Belfast, Omagh, Derry and Ballymena, of all places. And the interesting thing about Ballymena is that back in the day, the only thing I knew about Ballymena was that there was a shopping centre there. Because there was this very famous advert on the TV that they used to say, there's a fair old shopping centre in Ballymena, hey. And everybody used to go up there, do their shopping, whatever it may be. I know people that would go up there and they'd just do their food shopping. They'd drive all the way from Mayo as far as Ballymena, which is the guts of 2.5, 3 hours to get up and down. No, sorry, just to get up. So they'd be driving 6 hours just to go up to get a bit of milk and bread and all that stuff. But they do have good deals up there. I spent a lot of time in Iceland, the shop that Kerry Katoni used to do merchandise for, or something. I think Kerry Katoni used to work with Iceland years ago. But the food is shite in Iceland, I'm not going to lie to you. It's all gone off, not gone off stuff, but the bread and all that stuff is all soft and, it's all processed shite. But hey, don't get me wrong, it was good to be in there. It was good to see what they had on the shelves. Would I go back there again? If it was down the road, I would. But it's more like a convenience store. And there's plenty of them up there in Ballymena. But great town, lovely, lively little spot, lovely cafes, lovely places to get yourself some pizza. There was a place that made pizza in 180 seconds or less. And people were surprised when I told them I was staying in Ballymena. The reason why I picked it was because I felt like it was somewhere in the middle of all the different places that I wanted to get to see, such as Belfast, Omagh, Derry, and where else did I go to now that I think about it? The Sperrins, very nice place. Towns, I forget the name of half the towns. Antrim town, I was in there for a while, and different places. But I'm an awful bad man for names, so I probably should have taken some of these down. But just little villages and towns in and around Antrim. Let me see. Randallstown, went there. Schlemish, went in there. Carrick, Fergus Castle, went for a look there. Very nice. If you get a chance, do pop in there. But overall, had a great time there in Ballymena. But something I discovered about Ballymena through some lad that told me outside a garage. He said that in Ballymena there's a super church there. It's called Green Pastures. So if you're around Ballymena, you will see this super church that's there. It's the biggest church in Ireland, and it's one of those American style super churches that have left wings and right wings and big bits down the middle, and apparently there's a lot of singing and dancing at this place, and it's a very, very, I'm not trying to bring you into the cult of green pastures, but I'm just saying it's on every Sunday at 12 o'clock. It draws in a big crowd, and we're hoping to see you there next week. But check out that place. It's called Green Pastures. Let me see. And Belfast as well. Belfast is very cheap, I have to say. Compared to Dublin prices, Belfast is much cheaper. I would even go as far to say is that I think Belfast is actually cheaper than Galway, it was a bit of a shock to me, because from the west of Ireland, Galway is the place that everyone goes to, and it's always renowned to be, I suppose, the city that it's a bit cheaper than Dublin. But Galway, Dublin and Cork, they're all getting a small bit pricey. And Belfast, in fairness to them, you could get yourself a nice meal for what would be €10 or £7. I had lots of nice burgers and other sorts of stuff. Tacos. I had tacos in Antrim. They were alright. But love the accent. Great place. Very, very friendly people. There's a toughness to them, and there's a strength to the way they speak, and they almost want you to make your accent stronger, if that makes sense. Like, I was talking to one fella, and he goes, he said to me, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "From Mayo." He goes, "Oh, okay, I wasn't sure. Was it Mayo or Longford you were from?" And I said, "Right." And he could tell straight away he was from Belfast, because he had that really thick, rich accent that he just wanted to bite into. And they have very strong accents in Belfast, as you know yourself. I'm not even going to try to go any further with that accent, but Omagh, Derry, Antrim, they all have this really strong accent that I think I like. Is that fair enough? Tell everyone about this podcast, please. We're going to go through some headlines from around the world there recently. A lot of stuff has been going on, and we've just recently recorded the hottest day in history. In fact, the 2 hottest days in a row happened back to back. Let's take a little look at that. Earth sees the 2 hottest days ever. We're in apparently uncharted history. July 22nd was the hottest day on Earth, breaking the previous day's new record. Now, when I heard that the other day, I couldn't believe it, because if you were to ask anyone, especially in Ireland, they'd say to you like that, this year has been one of the wettest years we've had in history. I can't really remember back to a time where it was less wet than this year. So for this company, who is it? Europe's Corporate Climate Change Service, they're telling us that we've just had 2 of the hottest days ever on record, back to back. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth, especially to people who want to have a bit of sun in their life, or see people going to the beach, and we're just inside here, and because it's raining all the time, the ground is all wet. This is what they're saying. It puts humanity into truly uncharted territory. Temperatures will continue to rise while human-driven emissions are accelerating global warming. Scientists are unsure why temperatures since 2023 have been starkly higher than previous years. They're scared. They're starkly higher. Even factoring in El Niño climate cycle, researchers cannot fully account for the extent of global warming observed so far. This is what's going to happen. Everything's going to keep getting warmer, except Ireland. Everywhere's going to keep getting hotter. Buildings in Spain are going to start falling apart because the glue that's sticking them together, or the concrete, or that combination of chemicals that are holding the blocks and everything in the walls, is going to get so hot that every iota of water is going to disintegrate out of those blocks. The blocks are going to fall to the ground. And then the heat of the planet is obviously coming up, so the trees are getting hotter. They're going to lose all their leaves. The sun is going to keep banging off the ground because now there's no shade. The trees are not making any shade because they got no leaves. And the planet's going to keep getting hotter. Ice caps gone. Forget about it. Don't even think about it. The only time you'll see ice is be in the freezer, and that's going to cost you too much to even have the fridge turned on, because that's another thing that's going to start going up. Electricity, it's going to go through the absolute roof. It's going to be so hot that everyone's going to need an air conditioner in the house. Cold showers everywhere. But Ireland's going to still just be wet, and it's going to be in and around 12 to 13 to 14 degrees. So people are going to say, oh my God, that's a nice place to go to look at the weather. It's a perfect climate. Sure, they get a lot of rain, but at least with the rain you can put on a jacket, throw up an umbrella, and you can still go for a walk. You might step in a puddle, but you're not melting to death, are you? So what I'm saying is, people are going to keep coming to Ireland. There's going to be 100 million people. I've got the numbers here. 100 million people living in Ireland by the year 2048. I've done the calculations. We're in uncharted territory. The places are getting too hot. All you got to do is look across continental Europe, and you can see people in Croatia can't even walk. I seen a video about a fella whose feet had melted into the ground. You had to get the ambulance down to pull him out of the ground. That's how warm it got in Czech Republic or somewhere like that. So these people are going to be like, it's too goddamn hot round here. India's got drought. Australia's got drought. It's too hot. And when it gets to a certain level of heat, you're in big trouble. You're up shit creek without the paddle. You're just going to be like an innocent chicken drumstick thrown into an air fryer. You're going to just get far too hot and there's no getting out of it. Unless, of course, you come to Ireland. And I've done the calculations from around the world. There's going to be roughly in and around 100 million people coming to live in Ireland. So, let's just spread that out between the 4 provinces: Ulster, Leinster, Munster and Connacht. So roughly 25 million per province, okay? That's going to bring up, I suppose, the west of Ireland's population. What is the west of Ireland's population, actually? Let's have a look. West of Ireland population. 485,966 people live in Connacht. The west spans 13,801 kilometres squared, 20% of the total area of the state. So actually Connacht takes up 1/5 of the state. And as of 2022, census has a population of 485,966. Add that to the 25 million. 480. What? Let's round it off. Okay, so roughly we're talking there will be 30 million people living in Ireland by the year 2048. Get ready. Please check out my Patreon. Okay, we're going to be reading a bit of an extract out of the Alex Ferguson book. Now, speaking of bringing in big crowds, Alex Ferguson brought in many a big crowd to the Theatre of Dreams, aka Old Trafford. He ran Man United for many's a year with a Scottish iron fist. And we're going to be reading a little excerpt out of this book, which I picked up in St. Vincent de Paul the other day for only £1. And I'm very happy about that. And Alex Ferguson has always been almost like a secondary father to me, a man who I've never met, but I love and respect to bits. Good old Alex Ferguson, or Sir Alex Ferguson, I should say. I don't really like saying that Sir nonsense, but if there's one man I will give it to, it is good old Alex Ferguson. And I think that what he did for the team of Manchester United and the places that he brought us to, and I say us because I am one of these guys. I have been a supporter of Man United all of my life, for longer than I've been not a supporter. So what does that say? That says that there's an impenetrable bond between myself and good old Sir Alex Ferguson. And, he's got just everybody adored this man. And there's a lot of respect in this book that comes from, I suppose, knowing what you want in life and going for it and not backing down and believing in yourself and self-belief. And if there's any one man in this goddamn planet that I could say has self-belief, well, 2 other men as well, Hulk Hogan and good old Randy Savage. But if you threw Ferguson in between them as a manager, those lads would have they'd be running America as we speak. But Sir Alex Ferguson, absolute legend. So we're going to get stuck into it here now. And let's see. So there was a story I was reading there last night before I went to bed. And it was about Ferguson and his quick temper and just getting the best out of players, but also having a small bit of comfort there in his life as well, or a small bit of softness too, because you don't want to be just a complete hardman altogether. So here we go. Having a quick temper helped because if I lost my rag, my personality came through. Ryan Giggs had a temper, but a slow one. I don't know what that means. Mine was a useful tool. I just waded right in. It helped me to assert my authority. It told the players and staff that I was not to be messed with. There are always people who want to take you on, defy you. When I started, even in my first days at East Stirling, I had a defining confrontation with the centre forward, who was the son-in-law of one of the directors, Bob Shaw. I was informed by one of my players, Jim McKeon, sounds like a proper Scottish hardman, Jim McKeon, that his whole family went away for a weekend in September. It was a tradition. What do you mean? I said. You know, I'll not be playing on Saturday, Jim says. Well, I'll tell you what, I said. Don't play on Saturday and then don't bother coming back here. That was Ferguson putting his foot down to some, what's his name? Jim McKeon. Cheeky bastard. Going away on a holiday during the season. Not a chance. So he played and straight after drove down to join his family in Blackpool. On the Monday I received a phone call. Boss, I've broken down in Carlisle, I think it was. He must have thought I was stupid. Quick as a flash, I said, I can't hear you very well. Give me your number. I'll call you back. Silence. Ferguson is as cute as if... Oh, this man. There's something about Scottish people that they're very, very cute and very wise in their wit. Ferguson said, don't come back. Bob Shaw, the director, was deeply unhappy with me. This went on for weeks and weeks. The chairman was saying, Alex, please, get Bob Shaw back off my back. Get Jim back playing. I said, no, Willie, he's finished. Are you telling me I can do my job with guys deciding when they're going to go on holiday? This is all about going to Blackpool as well. Jesus Christ. I've never been to Blackpool, but I didn't hear great things about it, so I don't know what the fuss is. Ferguson said, I understand the problem, but is 3 weeks not enough? Sorry, he said that. I understand the problem, but is 3 weeks not enough? He said. The next week he followed me into the toilets at Forfar, stood beside me and groaned. She followed Alex Ferguson into the toilets at Forfar. Where's Forfar? I don't know what that means. Forfar, where's that? Stood beside me and groaned. Somebody walked into the toilet, stood beside Alex Ferguson and groaned. Oh. Please, Alex, if there's any Christian understanding in your body. Imagine a random man coming in beside you. And I know it's not a random man, and I know Ferguson knew him. But imagine you didn't know somebody was coming behind you. That's when you're at your most vulnerable, when you're in a public toilet. And some guy came in beside you and goes, oh, please, Alex, if there's any Christian understanding in your body. And then Ferguson said, after a pause, all right. And he kissed me. What are you doing, you silly old sod? I said. You're kissing me in a public toilet. Alex Ferguson epitomises what it means to be a hard-working, decent human being. He was in a bathroom there, just God knows doing what. He doesn't go into that in the book, but doesn't know. Let's just assume he was in there making a pee, and a fella walks in right behind him. Now Ferguson obviously would have had the pants around the ankles, and he would have been stood there, probably peeing into one of the little bowls. Which I think they need to get rid of those bowls, because I don't think it's right to be standing beside a random stranger and they just get to see your penis, or you get to see theirs, or you get to see more than you've bargained for, and you've just gone in to make a pee. So that's my first complaint about this situation that Ferguson has found himself in. The second thing is that if you've got your back to somebody in a toilet and they walk in, who knows what's going to happen? So Ferguson was caught on the back foot there, and I don't know at what point of his pee was he in. Was he in the final stretch? Was it just beginning? Because if you're just beginning, you're there for a while as well, and you're trying to concentrate on getting the pee into the bowl. But if you're just finished, then you think, okay, I can make a runner here if I have to. But this man came in beside Ferguson and he groaned, and that would have just completely threw me. I would have just pulled the pants up and ran, and that would have caused issues for the next 2 hours. Wet jocks. But anyways, Ferguson said, okay, fair enough. I think Ferguson made that decision off the back of feeling vulnerable, so I'm going to assume that Ferguson was only at the beginning of his pee there. But it just shows you that no matter how tough you are, even if you're Alex Ferguson, if you catch somebody in a toilet, that's a good time to quiz them. So if, for example, you're looking for a raise from your boss, or you're looking to maybe ask somebody a question that you've been holding back on, follow them into the toilet. And when they're midway through their pee, that's when you ask them. What pisses you off? Let me know. uncollie@gmail.com. Now, I got a question in from Katrina. And Katrina says, this issue is about ghosting. I've been chatting to a man from Donegal for months, but suddenly he's been ghosting me. He hasn't replied to my last 4 texts, and I even rang to see if everything was okay. He answered, but barely spoke. What do I do? Thanks, Katrina. Well, thank you very much for getting in touch there with me. Ghosting is, of course, this new phenomenon where somebody ignores you or you ignored them right after you've been in the middle of maybe having a conversation or maybe having a connection, or maybe you've been seeing each other for 1 or 2 dates, and then all of a sudden he's like, hey, this motherfucker ain't texting me back. I'm getting no replies, and I'm liking all of their posts on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp, you name it. And they ignore you. And for the first while you think, maybe their phone is broke. Yeah, their phone, what, they've been online there 2 hours ago. What's that about now? Time moves on, grows. Maybe the other person is doing, I don't know what they're doing, but they're not getting back to you. And you're eating yourself up inside because you're worried, have I done something wrong? Or am I just unable to be loved? Let me see. So you've been chatting to this fella from Donegal, hasn't replied to the last 4 texts. He's definitely got the text. Let's just assume he's got the texts. I even rang to see if everything was okay. You called him up. Hello? Everything okay? He didn't say much. He barely spoke. Actually, is that what you said? Hello? Is everything okay? Maybe he is a ghost. There's 2 options here, Katrina. Maybe this fella is a ghost. Maybe he is a ghost, truly a ghost, that lives in Donegal and is haunted. Or he's got a wife and 2 kids. They're the only 2 options. Either one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. But I would say delete the number from the phone book. And promise yourself, I don't know where you're living, but promise yourself that next time you are in Donegal, you see, ask around. Is he there? Is he knocking a few doors? Maybe catch him on the hop. Maybe he is married. Maybe the kids will answer the door and you'll get there. You're like, what was the story? You didn't get back to me. I texted you 4 times. I even called you and you barely spoke. What was that about? Declan. And he's standing there at the doorway. 2 kids are running around him. He's like, I'm fucking sorry. Oh, you're talking now, aren't you, Declan? Please go. No, I'm not going to go. I've just driven from Wexford all the way to Donegal. Give us the price of an Airbnb at least. Declan hands over a load of money. You get yourself a nice little 1-night stay in Donegal on the coast there. Watch that Atlantic come crashing in by. And you won't even be thinking about this fella. Those texts on the phone, delete them. His number, delete them. His email, get rid of it. Block him on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You name it, you block him. You get rid of that man out of your life right now, please. Cut the cord. Cut the ribbon and bounce. That's it. Turn the engine off, lock the car and push that car over a cliff. Because 4 texts in this day and age, if someone's not answering 4 texts from me, yeah, I might give them a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th text. But then I'm like, nah, you're not getting any more from me, mate. I can see my 8 texts here. Why haven't got back to me? Ghosting me, are you? Are you ghosting me? I'm going to ghost you forever. You're dead to me. You're absolutely dead to me. Hello? You're dead to me. Bang. Maybe give him one more call. Maybe give him one more ring and see. If he picks up, then say to him, what kind of form are you in today? And if he doesn't say much, then just say you're dead to me and hang the phone up. And now it's time to reverse the ghosting tables. You ghost him now. Because sooner or later, he's going to want a piece of that. He's going to want to chat to you again. Hey, sorry, I haven't talked in a while. I know I've been very busy with my plumbing business. Shut up. You ghosted me. Shut up. You're dead to me. Put that down in an email and that will hurt. If you get an email from somebody that says you're dead to me, that hurts. So give him one last call. If he answers, go from there. But if he starts getting all lippy and giving excuses, say boop, 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 boop. Hang up. Doot, doot, doot. Now he'll be like, what happened there? I better call you back. You start ghosting him. Turn the ghost tables around. 4 texts, he never got back to you. I'm not a needy person myself, Katrina. I'm not a needy person. But if I text someone 4 times and don't get back to me, I'll keep on to them until they get back to me. And then as soon as they've quivered, I'll turn the tables back on them. So that's what I'm telling you to do, Katrina. And if that doesn't work, then give me a call and I'll meet up with you. We'll go for a walk. Donegal, if you like. Get an ice cream. Go cinema. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Go for a lovely little walk around Donegal town. Or Letterkenny. Or Bundoran. Go for a little jaunt around the place. Walk down the beach there. Go for a little ride on the ponies. Or the fun fairground in Bundoran. I heard that's great this time of year. So if you fancy that, give us a call. Tell everyone about this podcast, please. Just want to say thank you very much to everybody that's been listening to the podcast. Please do share it and like it if you can, and tell your friends about it, please. Thank you so much. If you've got any questions for me as well, please give me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Chat to you soon. Thanks. This is the Owns Odyssey podcast. Thanks for being here.